College football never disappoints, and it's never quite exactly what you expect, showcased in this past week. I'm like right under this super bright light, and it's giving this wicked drop shadow on my face, so thank you for clicking on this video. You are a good sport. This channel is College Football Media, and we talk about college football teams, trends, and traditions all the way to logos, history, and predictions. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing for in-depth college football content. This is the part of the season where people use hindsight so much to their benefit, because people who are silent before a game will say, "Oh, I knew exactly what was going to happen," and reversed. People that knew exactly what was going to happen all of a sudden are silent. Don't be fooled by the phrase hindsight is 20/20, which funny enough I think will have a different meaning by the end of this year. But it's okay to change your opinions after this past week of college football. You don't have to tie yourself down to preseason predictions and notions and things that we had in our head that was simply not on the field. You've been given new information. It's okay to change your mind. And we learned a lot this past week. LSU, of course we knew, did not have all the same personnel that they did last year, but still didn't quite expect that performance that we saw on this past Saturday. Oklahoma is not technically out of the playoff picture, but by all means looks like they pretty much are without actually saying so. Of course this year has been crazy. There's still a scenario that a one-loss team could still get in, sure, but it just doesn't seem like they'll be able to make it through the rest of their schedule with only that one loss. The Big 12 as a whole just looks like a train wreck, and it was also quite surprising to watch Georgia last week, who did not look like the team that they have been the past couple years with, funny enough, quarterback Jake Fromm. The bottom line, college football is crazy. It is the most unpredictable sport out there. That's what makes it so entertaining. That's what makes it valuable, is the exclusivity of it. Football isn't fair. The sooner you understand that, the sooner you can have fun watching all the ups and downs. Just like Forrest Gump put it, you don't know what you're gonna get. That's true during a normal season when you have spring ball, but especially this year without having any spring practices and no spring games being played, you don't know what you're going to get until you put it out on the field, and that showed Saturday. So we learned a lot. So the big game this week is Auburn at Georgia, and I want to touch on that game briefly. Auburn looks like Auburn, funny enough, which means they have a solid defense, and they have a fluctuating but good at times, not always consistent offense right now. Their biggest question mark is offensive line. You have Bo Nix, who is a good quarterback. You don't know how great he is quite yet, but you know he has potential and can show flashes. The biggest question is offensive line. How are they going to play against Georgia's defensive line? Biggest question going into this week if you're Auburn. Flip the scenario, Georgia, you have no idea what you're getting if you're Georgia. It's effectively like a whole nother week one. It's like last week for Georgia didn't count, and you're still facing them in week one based on everything that's gone down. Dwan Mathis did not work. You bring in effectively what would have been the fourth string quarterback. I believe his name is Bennett, and he ran the offense. They scored. Granted, yes, it's Arkansas, and now you're playing Auburn. So there are still a lot of unknowns if you're Georgia's offense, and they better figure it out because they have a lot of good teams that they have to play coming up. And it's Auburn this week. You get them at home, which means you don't have to travel, at least is the biggest benefit in this COVID season. But again, if you're Georgia, your defense is your strength. So both teams, their strength is their defense. And both offensive lines, you really don't know what you're going to get. Of course, you might know a little bit more, have a little more experience with Bo Nix at Auburn at quarterback. And the Georgia's quarterback situation, completely up in the air, completely wide open. Of course, Bennett might start the game. You'll see how he does. Can he score against Auburn? Can he run the offense effectively? Of course, remains to be seen. You just have to put him out on the field and see. But the biggest question mark for Georgia JT Daniels was cleared. That is the biggest news if you are a Georgia fan. How much will he play? How often is the biggest question. And is he what you hope and think that he is? Of course, you hope JT Daniels is the long-term answer for Georgia, but is that enough to win you a game this week? Still a lot of unknowns for both of these teams going into this week, so it will be very entertaining to watch. I'm looking forward to watching this game the most this week. And with all the uncertainty, I think this is the best chance for Auburn to get an upset right now against Georgia this week, and I think they can do it. I'm going to go with Auburn to win this game, but if you're a Georgia fan, don't hold me to it. But if you're a Georgia fan, the biggest benefit if you lost this game, one, it's not a division game, and two, that puts more pressure on you to get things turned around in 2 weeks, get it turned around quickly before you travel to Alabama. So, if you're Georgia, think about it. If you lose this game, that would probably light a fire under your team and make it more likely for you to be successful against Alabama. In a weird reverse kind of way, but it makes sense in my head. So, and yes, Georgia is the more talented roster. If they shut down Bo Nix and if they can somehow be consistent, be balanced, have some run game, and a serviceable quarterback, then Georgia should win this game. But with how many bounce of ball plays that Auburn gets, that's going to be my prediction, that they get some turnovers and some of those weird odd plays. It'll be close at the end, probably, I'm sure. And I'm going to pick Auburn to win, but I would not be surprised if it is the other way around. And there is a silver lining around that game if you are Georgia and you do lose, which is not the most likely scenario. So just want to be clear on that. Really looking forward to watching this game. It could go either way. It's 50-50. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Consider subscribing for more in-depth college football content. You can check me out on Instagram and on TikTok, trying to post maybe some fun videos on there, so you can look at that if that's something you're into. Again, thank you so much for watching this video all the way till the end. I truly appreciate you spending your time watching this video. So, until next time, be good now.